Welcome to Zero Sum Studio. I'm just doing a very quick comic book of the day video today. I've been reading Above Snakes, which is by Sean Lewis and Hayden Sherman, and I'm not particularly familiar with either of these writers or artists. I evidently have a few of their comics. This is the About Snakes. This is from the League of Comic Geeks.com. This is their landing page for Above Snakes, which is just, the artwork on this is just fantastic, and these covers are great, and a few of them, I'm going to come back and talk about one, but a few of these are just very inventive, right? This one down here, this the kind of the retro variant, and then this one that I'll talk to in a second. But this is by Sean Lewis, the writer. I have a few of his comics, but I'm not that familiar with him. And Hayden Sherman. I'm more familiar with Hayden Sherman's artwork. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Hassan, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, so if I ever get the pleasure of meeting him in person, I'll buy a coffee for him. But this is Hassan Otsman El Hal, who does the lettering on this, and this is just one of these. He's a remarkable letterer, right? And I mentioned this earlier, but one of the covers for this is actually just a cover of all of his lettering, and he's just fantastic. And he's one of these artists that every now and then I'll be reading a comic book, and more for me, or shame on me, I don't pay enough attention to who's lettering a comic book unless it really stands out, right? And, someone that letters their own comic books, so I should probably pay a little bit more attention. But what I have found is with Hassan's work, I'll invariably be reading a comic book and I'll think, this is just incredible. And then I'll look at it and I'll realize this is lettering. So just wanted to give a massive shout out there. But again, this is just beautiful. And I'm specifically going to focus on a couple of pages because they blew me away while I was reading it. But just overall, this is just gorgeous, right? I mean, the artwork on this is vibrant, it's lively, it's a little bit surreal in places. And again, some of this lettering is just so idiosyncratic, and the bubbles and the kind of the lines, the connectors, just fantastic. You can tell who's speaking. He does a lot of color work, but you can tell who's speaking immediately from the shape of the balloons and just how the kind of the trails and the lines and stuff. So again, massive shout out there. But overall, this is just a beautiful book, right? I mean, it's well designed. Again, the color palette is it's vibrant, it's alive, it's dreamlike, it's surreal, it's just absolutely gorgeous. This is Speck, one of the characters, a bird, a buzzard, who's flying above just this scene of detritus, and it's absolutely fantastic. The central character, I don't want to give too much away. I don't know if this is inappropriate, but the central character, comes to a scene that has special meaning to him in a very negative way. And these next two pages were just two of my, honestly, I thought two of the best designed and best executed comic book pages that I've ever seen, right? And they kind of remind me of the very old Grendel stuff, right, from Comico. There was this two issue comic series where it was really tight, right? And I think there was 16 or maybe 20 panels per page. This very much echoes that, right? This double page spread is just fantastic. You see Dirt, the central character, who's heading into the church that we saw on the previous page. But over these, I didn't count them. I don't know how many there are, but there's, what is that? That's 5 and then 3, 6, let's call that 8. So, oh my gosh, I mean, there's like 40 panels a page here or something, right? Did I have that right? Is my basic math that far off? But there's an incredible number of panels per page. And it just looks wonderful. And it kind of jumps backwards and forwards and shows kind of dreamlike and, kind of memories and what's been going on. And some of them are taken up by text. But again, they never really lose sight of the overarching picture. And it just tells this story. And it leads up to Dirt opening the door and then kind of, coming face to face or opening the scene. And, I don't want to spoil it any further. And again, I'm not sure this is appropriate. I really just want to focus on these two pages. This is just magnificent. So again, really massive shout out to Hayden Sherman on this. The design work on this is just beautiful. It's just phenomenal. And that's it. Comic book of the day, right? So I tend to read 3 to 5 comic books a day on good days, right? This was, I'm going through Above Snakes. This is my first reading. I bought the first, when I bought it, I do this a lot. I buy a first issue, I really like it, I put it on my pull list, and then I just wait until everything's complete. And then I read it all in one go. That's what I'm doing with Above Snakes. So that's it. Comic book of the day. # comic book of the day. I'll be putting this up on Twitter. But this is it's a phenomenal piece of work. I would highly recommend this to anyone that is interested in comics or like something, comics that have a little bit of a different tint to them. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon.